and I had you to myself. Didn't want you around. Those pretty faces always made you stand out in the crowd. But someone picked you from the bunch. One glance was all it took, and now it's much too late for me to take a second look. Oh, baby, give me one more chance to show you that I love you. Won't you please let me back in your heart? Oh, darling, I was blind to let you go, baby. But now, since I see you in his arms once back, yeah, I want you back. Trying to live without your love is a one long sleepless night. Let me show you, girl, that I know wrong from right. In every street you walk on, I leave tea stains on the ground. Following the girl, yeah, I didn't even want around. Oh, baby, give me one more chance to show you that I love you. Won't you please let me, back in your heart? Oh, darling, I was blind to let you go, baby. But now, since I see you in his arms once back, yeah, I want you back. Do 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 do. Do do da do 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 da 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 do do do. I want you back. I want you back. Yeah. There's this thing about you. You get me into this groove. You're making my heart sing, baby, baby. There's this thing that you do. Make me talk to you. You color up this room, baby, baby. My game needs some serious work. Conversation, anything but good. She thinks that I can talk it well. There might be, but she's got everything I don't. Yeah. I wanna be your man. I wanna be your shoulder. I wanna be your, but I'm really starting to believe that I'm never gonna be your lucky duck. Did someone turn the lights when you walked into this room? 'Cause it just got a little brighter, and my heart too. Don't worry about the rain, she'll make it sunshine again. Umbrella for some shade, now, 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 now. My game needs some serious work. Conversation, anything but good. No, she thinks that I can talk it well. There might be, but she's got everything I don't. I wanna be your man. I wanna be your shoulder. I wanna be your, but I'm really starting to believe that I'm never gonna be your lucky duck. No. Lucky duck. Somewhere over the rainbow in blue birds fly, and the dreams that you dare to. Oh, why can't I? Somewhere over the rainbow and blue birds fly, and the dreams that you dare to. Oh, why can't I? Well, someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops, high above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow and blue birds fly, and the dreams that you dare to. Oh, why can't I? Come on. Someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, blue birds fly, and the dreams that you dare to. Oh, why can't I? Yeah. No. We're singing about this town full of wonderful people. We feel so very proud. We're saying there's no equal, and that's why we shout it out wherever we might go. Rise and shine, it's a brand new day. We all say good morning, good morning. Now everyone join, sing along and step right, left, up, down, turn around. It's no flip of the coin, heads up, worry. Morning, good morning. Core Avenue, we walk down, take a trip to Blank Park Zoo. Yeah, we hang out, the Capitol too. That's what we're all about, again and again, and speak it out loud. Good morning, good morning. Now everyone join, sing along and step right, left, up, down, turn around. It's no flip of the coin, heads up, whirring to morn. Yeah, good morning. We may move away or leave to stay. There's still a place in our hearts that won't ever change or start to fade. This city means too much Good evening and morning, yeah, we don't disappoint. Principal building got not those that shine so bright. It's no secret the morning, yeah, we're overjoyed. Sleep tight till daylight. Oh no. Oh. Good morning, good morning. Now everyone join. Sing along and step right, left, up, down, turn around. It's no flip of the coin. Heads up, worrying to morn. Yeah. Good morning. You're singing about it. No, no, yeah. Good morning. You're a rich girl, and it's gone too far, 'cause you know it don't matter anyway. You can rely on the old man's money. You can rely on the old man's money. It's a rich girl, and it's gone too far, 'cause you know it don't matter anyway. Some money won't get you too far, get you too far. High and dry, out of the rain. Oh no, and it's so easy to hurt others when you can't feel pain. And don't you know that love can grow? And 'cause there's too much to live, 'cause you'd rather live for the thrill of it all. No, you're a rich girl, and it's gone too far, 'cause you know it don't matter anyway. And you can rely on the old man's money. You can rely on the old man's money. It's a rich girl, and it's gone too far, 'cause you know it don't matter anyway. Some money won't get you too far, get you too far. And don't you know, yeah, and don't you know that it's wrong to take what is given you, so far gone out of the rain. 'Cause there's too much to give, 'cause you'd rather live for the thrill of it all, yeah. 'Cause you're a rich girl, and it's gone too far, 'cause you know it don't matter anyway. And you can rely on the old man's money. You can rely on the old man's money. It's a rich girl, and it's gone too far, 'cause you know it don't matter anyway. See, money won't get you too far. See, money won't get you too far. See, money won't get you too far, get you too far, no. And you say you can rely on the old man's money. You can rely on the old man's money. You're a rich girl. Isn't she lovely? Oh, isn't she wonderful? Isn't she precious? Yeah. Less than 1 minute old. And I never thought through love we'd be making one as lovely as she. But isn't she lovely? Made from love, yeah. Isn't she pretty? No, no, no. Truly the angel's best. And boy, I'm so happy we have been heaven blessed. And I can't believe what God has done. Through us He's given life to one that's so very lovely, made from love, yeah. Isn't she lovely? Life full of all the same. Life is Aisha, the meaning of her name. And only it could have not been done without you who conceived the one that's so very lovely, made from love. No, 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 no. Do 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 do. Do 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 da da. Do 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 da da. There's someone in it all, and I never thought through love we'd be making one as lovely as she. But isn't she lovely? Made from love, yeah.
Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to this year's Big Blast at the Science Center of Iowa.
This year we are virtual again. We appreciate everybody tuning in, taking in mind that science is essential, and we want to keep everybody safe and healthy.
We obviously had to make some shifts during COVID. We closed down for a short period of time and were able to open up rather quickly with the preschool to be able to serve essential workers out there in the community, and childcare is an essential function. So we were able to pivot and get the preschool open rather quickly. And then shortly after just a couple months of closure, we opened the Science Center once again to the public, and we're really excited to see all the audiences that were ready to come back to the Science Center.
It's given us the opportunity to rethink, reimagine, refocus, reengage, and reconnect. To really think through what's important not only just to the organization, but most importantly to each one of you that are listening tonight and our stakeholders that are coming into the Science Center. This year's theme for the Science Center Big Blast is DNA. DNA is so important in the makeup of each and every one of you, as well as everyone in the country and across the world. Just like that, the DNA of the Science Center is critical for us to continue to build our mission, not only locally here in the metro area, but across the state. Building off of the structure, we want to engage and inspire Iowans of all ages, but most importantly, increase the opportunity to connect youth and adults to STEM literacy.
So it's another year of a virtual event, but we want folks to really understand about how the Science Center works, how we serve the community, and for you to have a great time also.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Charlie Whitmack. I'm your host for tonight, and I am so excited to be here. I'd like to welcome you officially to the 2021 SCI's Big Blast. Now, as you can tell, this is another year of virtual gala. It was a difficult decision for the Science Center staff to go virtual for a second year, but putting the safety of the members, staff, supporters, and donors first, they made the choice to double down and go virtual again. Just like last year, though, that won't stop us from holding one of the best fundraisers around. This year, we've made some minor changes to the program. Now, as to not get in the way of your Friday night activities too much, we've shortened the Big Blast to just an hour. Now, that said, we certainly appreciate you joining us for this night of support for the Science Center of Iowa. Before we get into the program, it's important to make sure you're 100% set up on our BidPal site. If you haven't done so already, there's a silent auction button just above this video feed on the website. Click that button and it'll take you to the auction page to view all of our items. On the left-hand column is a how-to section. There you'll find step-by-step instructions on how to bid, outbid, and close out your bids on any and all of the items of your choosing. Tonight you'll hear from longtime supporters and volunteers of SCI, family members, and key stakeholders, letting you know how the last 18 months has impacted our offerings and what you can expect in the months to come. Speaking of longtime supporters, I'd like to introduce to you a gentleman I've had the pleasure of getting to know over the last few months, David Grant. David has an incredible history as a scientist and has been a passionate volunteer at SCI for many years. Let's learn a little bit more about his story.
First, you have to remember you're talking to a DNAologist. This is what I do. So I'm a little biased to that extent. DNA is, as everybody knows, is the core of genetics. That is what makes the cells be able to do what they do. So that's the central part of biology as far as I'm concerned.
It's basically 4 pieces that are repeated over and over and over again, right? So they're used in lots of different ways. It's the way that you put it together. It's the way that you use it. It's the way you organize it. So the Science Center is really made of some of those core pieces, and we're constantly finding ways to kind of reinvent ourselves and put ourselves together according to the needs.
DNA is about genetics, and the Science Center genetics have survived through the pandemic. We have found the traits that really do define who we are and our excellence in the community, and expanded on those traits.
Just like that, the DNA of the Science Center is critical for us to continue to build our mission, not only locally here in the metro area, but across the state.
The DNA of the Science Center is similar. That is, they have a goal, that is to bring science to the community. And so the DNA of the Science Center is the core of the Science Center is their DNA, is the bringing science to the community.
Being able to be excited about it and bring that wonder and curiosity, and even sometimes, challenging ourselves is, I think, one of the most wonderful and beautiful things that we can do as an organization with our visitors.
We need to break this part off. And
I think a lot of the skills that he learned here, especially problem solving, he even talks about today, like he'll recognize a problem and then discuss like ways to overcome that or solve that. He didn't learn that from us, so that was all Science Center education. I'm Rachel Harms, and my son was a preschooler here at the Science Center Preschool for the last year. We had such a great experience with the staff and the teachers and the teachers' aides, like everybody. I felt really cared about Grayson and his education and helping him learn, and just a lot of the kindergarten preparedness that I think a lot of kids don't get. His teachers were very involved with us. It was just great communication all the time, and we always knew what Grayson was doing that day. They'd send home worksheets to update us about his day.
right next to it.
Yep. And then turn it over and fold this part up.
When our young investigators are walking in the door from the first time that they come to the preschool, they are in awe of the space because they instantaneously believe that the Science Center is theirs, that they belong here, that they can learn here, and that this space was made for them. But not only do our learners feel that way, but our parents feel that way.
Let's do a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We were just really excited about all the hands-on opportunities for him and being able to experience and learn by doing.
We look at the Science Center of Iowa as a multi-generational experience. We also have experiences that are designed for the children to be experts and help guide their parents and grandparents through the experience. So for us, success really is about having a multi-generational group interacting together, problem solving together, and learning together.
The thing that our family likes about the Science Center is it gives us a chance to actually play and interact with our children. Kids love to learn by doing. It's just a lot of fun activities for kids to do.
My name is Tyler Bacon. I'm the president of CB Solar. We are a turnkey contracting company. We do exclusively solar energy projects. In the last 10 years, we've installed nearly 700 solar projects throughout the state, varying from just single panel little projects to large utility scale projects. Our auction item is a 8-panel grid connected solar system. So it is about 3 kilowatts total, but it's just a sweet spot of a size. It should fit on any house, and it should produce a lot of energy. It should produce about 50% of the average electric need for the average Iowa house. I brought today, this is a small model of the solar panels that will be up for auction. They are monocrystalline solar panels, so they'll look just like this, black cells, silver frames. So our auction item would have 8 of the large size of this panel. So they are, dimensionally, they're 6.5 feet by about 3.5 feet. This 8-panel, 3 kilowatt, turnkey fully installed system retails for about $13,000. So solar and wind power is it's green, and that seems to be the way the world is going. As efficiencies and technologies change, these technologies like solar become more and more cost effective. So of course this is clean. There's no emissions. There's no moving parts. They last for decades. We thought it would be good exposure for the Science Center, try to raise some money for them, a little exposure for us as well. We like the Science Center. I've been, I guess, an annual pass holder for years, and before that, when I was a child, we came to the Science Center all the time. I like the facility here, I like the cause. I'm an engineer, so I like science.
We actually met when I was participating in a summer program at Simpson College.
So the real story is, I believe her phone number showed up on my football workout sheet, and I called that number. She answered, but she's like, I don't know you, hung up. I think that's where our relationship grew, because she called me back feeling so bad that, hey, I don't know you. Over the phone, got to know each other over a few months. We had a lot of things in common, so it's a fun story.
So whose story do you really have, Doug?
Doug's is the real one, but
Doug's is the real one.
During our college years, we actually were out looking for a part-time job. And since we love science so much, we're like, you know what, let's try the Science Center. We went in, filled out an application, had an on-the-spot interview, and we got the job.
I fell in love, I think, in the laboratory setting. So having a experiment, a method in your hands, and just having the freedom to go and run that experiment, and things don't always go the way they're planned, but that's what's exciting. How can you do it better? I believe after I graduated, this opportunity with Kemin presented itself.
Doug actually got hired at Kemin before I did, and then he's like, hey, I know this really great company, you should come and work here. And I did, and I got the job, and I was really excited. At Kemin and the Science Center, they're essentially the same because, you know, sciences is the core of what they do, in different capacities, obviously, but essentially they focus on science as a way to change the lives of others. So when I worked at the Science Center, what I really enjoyed when people would come in and buy their tickets, I loved hearing when people would say, oh, this is my first time at the Science Center. And so then I would, you know, pull out the Science Center map and be like, you gotta check this out, you gotta check this out. There's so many things at the Science Center. If someone is interested in engineering and, you know, astrology, there's something for everyone.
Yeah, it's just, there's so many possibilities to discover your own thing at the Science Center of Iowa. And I think that's what matters in the end, and I think that's why we continue to be involved and be a part of this community. For us as being kids, it's really in our DNA, and seeing that, being, elevating that, seeing that experience firsthand, it's what it's about.
Thank you, Doug and Carolina, for your dedication to this year's gala and unrelenting passion for science, DNA, and all things STEM. Now, make sure you're 100% set up on our BidPal site. If you haven't done so already, there's a silent auction button just above this video feed on the website. Click that button and it'll take you to the auction page to view all of our silent auction items. On the left-hand column is a how-to section. There you'll find step-by-step instruction on how to bid, outbid, and close out your bids on any and all of the items you choose. Without contributions like yours, the Science Center of Iowa can't provide advancements to STEM learning and innovation in Iowa. Remember, any donation helps. Now, did you know the Science Center of Iowa serves more than 300,000 people annually? The programming reaches every county in the state of Iowa, promoting cultural awareness and provides unique experiences for all Iowans. It's now time to hear from another longtime volunteer of SCI and hear what community outreach looks like outside the walls of the Science Center.
How do we understand that? What does it mean? How does that apply to our lives? And that's our job here at the Science Center, is to really translate science to your everyday life. What does it mean? How does it apply to you? And you can be 2 or 92, and we can still serve you in that parameter.
Putting your foot in the door and reaching out and asking questions to the community leads to amazing results. I never thought that we would be partnering with the Science Center, as they are further from our district of 20 minutes, but that 20 minutes is nothing now. The amount of impact that they have come into our district numerous times and made that is huge.
Our outreach program does travel across the state to deliver science-based programming throughout the year. We go from Lee County all the way up to Rock Rapids, so all corners of the state.
And then we have an outreach version of that called the Spark Lab. So basically we take the Innovation Lab on the road. We find ways to package as much as we can, including things like sewing machines and drills and tools, equipment. And we're able to go into any kind of space, whether it's like a library or a classroom or a gym, and basically turn it into a space of innovation and making.
It is a beautiful space that nurtures the individual child, personalize their learning experiences to continue their curiosities. On top of that, gives them a long-standing relationship with science.
Schools don't always have all of the resources that the Science Center or different communities have, so bringing those in and giving us the opportunity to expand on our manipulatives at school is just so impactful. It's not just coming into the Science Center, but the Science Center also comes into our district and leads activities, so I think that's amazing.
That's kind of that idea, really, is that science enlightens them and gives them that positive experience, and we want them to carry that out as they leave, but also want more. We're safer because of science. And so we can support that, both here locally and a farther reach throughout the state, in helping people to understand what science is, why is it important, and how does it apply to your everyday life.
Hi, I'm Kat McClure. I'm the owner and portrait artist behind Catherine McClure Photography. Well, whether we're creating a fine art portrait for your home or a painting, our process always begins the same way. You have a full consultation where we design the mood and feel of your portrait session. You get complimentary hair and makeup services, styling services, so that you really look and feel your best, and exclusive access to the Swan Room, my studio in Prairie City. Once the photographic session has taken place, that's really where we determine what you want to do next. It can be a beautiful heirloom album, a photograph for your wall, or we begin the process to transition it to a painting for you. Tonight in the silent auction, we have a painting gift certificate. What that allows you to do is begin our whole process with complimentary hair and makeup and all of the pampering services, and then go ahead and move it all the way into the painting process. This gift certificate covers our smallest, most intimate size, but you can also apply it to something at a larger scale. When people see my finished pieces, they're always surprised that everyone is looking and smiling and engaged perfectly. But let's be honest, that's not actually how it happens, and part of my training is just blending moments. So one of the biggest secrets behind the scenes from Catherine McClure Photography is that extra finesse where we go ahead and blend it all together for you. As an educator, I really want to live out for my kids the idea that learning is a lifelong endeavor. I learn new things every time I come here and I see a new exhibit. My children learn new things, and their world is open and bigger. We have been season pass holders off and on for the last 12 years. So I don't think that there's a nook or cranny of this place that we haven't explored 14 times. But it never fails to delight. For me, it's a natural next step to really support the Science Center's mission, right? And if I can do that with my painted portraits, that is even better. I get to create a beautiful piece of artwork for a family, and the Science Center gets to continue its mission.
I can't say enough about our staff and our volunteers.
We've really made a concerted effort to find the most impassioned and knowledgeable volunteers out in the community and bring their passion to life here with our visitors at the Science Center.
We couldn't do it without them.
My name is David Grant, and I'm what is termed a core volunteer at the Science Center. It is one of the, in my opinion, is one of the most fun things that I do every week. It's certainly one of the most rewarding things I do every week.
I'm Tim Coble. I'm a volunteer here. I've been volunteering about 3 years now. Do try it. I mean, even if you're a little frightened of what it could mean or whatever, a lot of fun. And people are accepting and often share things that they know that I don't know, which is fun as well.
I normally work up in the room where when things get moving. And so my role there is I interact with the people that attend. I ask them questions about what they're doing and why they're doing what they're doing. Let them tell me. And then when it's appropriate, then we get into a little bit of education. Otherwise, I just watch them have fun. Personally, the most fulfilling thing is watching the kids while they're here at the Science Center. Basically, the whole world is brand new to them. So they're learning the world, inventing the world as they grow up. And I just love watching them do that. The goals of the Science Center of bringing science to the community and my goals as an educator are the same. This is what I've done all of my career. I can't think of anything that's more fun or more rewarding.
David, Tom, you guys are lifelong science people, and we're forever grateful for your dedication and service to our organization. We cannot thank you enough. Now, don't forget to lock in your silent auction items using the silent auction link on SCI's Big Blast event page. Remember, all proceeds go to supporting opportunities for more than 300,000 children, teens, and adults to engage in science learning. Each and every donation makes an impact. Let's take a moment to give our sponsors a huge shout out. These businesses and individuals, even in trying times, have stepped up to help support our mission and vision to advance science learning in Iowa.
I'd like to thank all of our sponsors for helping out with this evening's program. It's so important. The Big Blast is such an important part of the year for the Science Center of Iowa, and we really appreciate all the support that we get from our sponsors for this evening.
It's critical for us to be able to provide the work that we do here at the Science Center, but also across the state. And we are very grateful for the opportunity for them to sponsor this event and sponsor this event for several years. Their connection and passion for the Science Center of Iowa is not only seen through the dollars that they've given us to support the organization, but also their commitment in ensuring that our mission, our vision, and the work we do continues and is seen throughout the state.
I'd especially like to thank Nationwide, Kemin Industries, and Bob Riley for being our lead sponsors for the evening. Thank you very much for all the support that you provide to the Science Center of Iowa. Your support through this evening and in other ways that you support us allow us the opportunity to serve this community in really important ways. Science is so important to our culture nowadays, our society, and providing programming, education programs for students, traveling exhibits that come into the Science Center, and frankly, just a great experience for families to explore their world together here at the Science Center of Iowa. Your support is very much appreciated.
The most powerful thing that the Science Center can do for our early learners is to inspire them to ask more questions. And if we inspire a young learner to think that they're capable of doing that, then what a beautiful world we have if we have our earliest learners being our problem solvers, because we need that next generation of problem solvers to solve cancer, to challenge the questions about our climate, to think differently about the world and their place in the world and how they can improve the world.
It was the first preschool to open in a science center in the country. These little brains are developing at such a rapid rate that their brains are so rich for development and growth that introducing them to science concepts early is really beneficial to their development later on in life.
By them having the opportunity to have that fluidity between their learning space in the classroom and the Science Center really expands the content that's available to them that's personalized. Here at the Science Center, our philosophy with early childhood learning is really to expand their curiosities through the action of play. And we do that in our preschool through our experiences that are teacher-driven as well as child-driven. And then in the Science Center, we do that through our exhibits and our programs. Pint-Sized Science is a pronged approach that provides opportunities for a family member or a caring, guiding adult and a child. So they're usually themed-based, and they're tied to a variety of science components. But then we actually have grown that program to expand that so that we are supporting teachers so that they can become the very best STEM or science teachers for early learners as well. Those are two parts of Pint-Sized Science, and I would say that there's one more aspect, and that is our Parent STEM Academy, which is an opportunity to help parents be better STEM coaches for their children. It is a beautiful space that nurtures the individual child, personalize their learning experiences to continue their curiosities, but really on top of that, gives them a long-standing relationship with science.
Generally speaking, when we're approaching an exhibit, always interactive is better than passive. It's a lot easier to have somebody learn if they're enjoying it and if they're participating in it. So we are always looking for ways that we can interpret content or experiences or high-level phenomena in an easy, accessible way.
We were really fortunate to be able to bring in a Smithsonian-sponsored exhibit called The Bias Inside Us, which looks at intrinsic bias.
The Science Center's always been really intentional about addressing those types of issues because there is science behind those hard issues and those hard questions that we deal with in our everyday lives. So whether that's from race are we so different or mind matters, which is all about mental health, we're really thinking about how can we use science to help people tackle those hard questions in their everyday lives. It really got down to the nuts and bolts of we all have bias, whether we recognize it or not. It's something that we grow up with, we learn, and just because you have bias doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It's about being able to recognize and understand that. So we wanted to bring those elements to our community and have conversations really around them and how that we can recognize our bias and then essentially use it to our benefit to better our community and our lives.
Cool Science will be our new exhibit that will open up in November. And Cool Science is really focused on that timely event of the Winter Olympics happening and really connecting the content of science with those kinds of experiences.
We're looking at what makes ice slippery, how do snowflakes form, but then we're also tying it into all the science and physics and engineering that goes into sports that you do out in the cold,
as well as motion. And why does that beautiful ice skater gliding across the ice, what is science doing that's making that beautiful and making that possible? And so really helping our visitors see the connectivity and the relevancy of science to all aspects of their lives.
Being able to leverage things that people are familiar with or enjoy doing and then explaining how the science is allowing that to happen in their life or during those activities is really fun. So we're going to be transforming Founders Hall into this winter wonderland with all kinds of fun experiences, and then tying that to the Winter Olympics. It's not about the specific, facts that somebody learns here. It's about the experience and the learning process for us. And that's why we want people to come back time and time again, because hopefully every time they're approaching it, it's a little bit different and a little bit more magical for them.
I don't know about you, but ice skating indoors without the cold sounds so much better to me. Those are some innovative exhibits you won't want to miss. A final reminder, all proceeds from tonight's gala are critical for supporting opportunities for more than 300,000 children, teens, and adults to engage in science learning through interactive exhibits, live programming, special events, workshops, and camps at SCI each year. So make sure you get all your bids in before the auction closes tonight at 7:30 sharp. As our night is quickly coming to a close, we wanted to share the perspective of what it's like to be a supporter and the impact the Science Center of Iowa has on families and kids of all ages.
Science has never been more important than it is today. We've seen the rapid development of vaccines. There are challenges around the world that science is helping us discover solutions for. So science is everywhere. Having an educated, a knowledgeable population that embraces science as a way of knowing is really important to the community.
The Science Center has been part of the community for over 50 years. So I think that it's not so much the DNA of the Science Center, but that the Science Center is part of the DNA of our community. We've really been part of the growth and change, and what's so wonderful that about our history is that there were a group of individuals in our community who thought that Des Moines and Iowa deserved this type of experience.
We invite our visitors, our students, to explore science in an open, healthy, exploratory way, and draw their own conclusions, make up their own theories, and test those theories just as scientists do, and explore in our facility.
It is an institution that serves our community by providing a space that is safe, provides a space where we can have an entry point to more challenging topics, complex issues.
The Science Center has as their goal the idea of making science accessible to the community. The schools do a fantastic job of teaching the facts and the concepts of science, but it's much harder to do the hands-on part and to have discussions with someone like me who is a scientist. So I think that having this here and having the ability for families to come in and experience science in a way that's different from the way you experience in school, I think is just really, really valuable.
As a community that we support the idea of science communication and science application. So it's not just about what you know, it's what you do with what you know. So we make decisions, right? We apply it in our everyday lives. We take it home and we do things differently because of that.
But another aspect of it is the beautiful nature of people coming together. That makes the liveliness of the Science Center in our community. That is the staff who bring their own perspectives and their own self to make an amazing experience, whether that is in our preschool or whether that's in our exhibit components or in our lively programs or our outreach programs, teacher programs that are touching those teachers. So there's so much that is making up the whole of the Science Center in which to serve our community.
Science is a process and it's an adventure, right? And what's better than going on an adventure with friends or people who are as excited with you?
On behalf of SCI, I truly thank you for your time tonight and your incredible support of this wonderful organization, the Science Center of Iowa. Don't forget, donations are accepted year-round, But why wait? Make an impact today and support the future of science learning, not only in our community, but throughout the state of Iowa. Again, I'm Charlie Whitmack. Thank you for tuning in. Have a wonderful night.